kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make it early diagnosis. Hit you with the quick release like Marino Danny dopeness. Explosive change of direction in the true essence of Reggie Bush. From JT and ZT to DVP and AVG. Terminator to a quarterback, Hunter JP. Steve Ross, the boss, King Flow, and card slinging, gambling genius, Slick Chris Greer.
Yeah, welcome back to Digging in the Trenches with your boy JPF Scout and my man, Dr. Brown in the house. And just like you've seen in the intro, man, winter is coming. Yeah, man, we're about to go up there to Buffalo, get into that snowball shootout out there in New Jersey. Is that where it's at? Rutherford, am I correct? So Buffalo, we're getting ready to go out there and stomp. I'm ready for the game. I was going to put on like a winter jacket and like a face guard and be like, oh, man, I'm trying to get ready for all the fans out there who are going to be in their winter gear. But I was like, man, I'll just go like this, man. Man, we're getting ready to play this bad game, man. This is going to be awesome for us to get out there and get this opportunity to just start slamming on dudes. And I know everybody's excited to play it, and I know the fans are excited. I can't jump out of my seat. I'm damn so excited about this damn game. Let's go, dog. So, man, buckle up. It's going to be a great show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tune in, man, because we got a nice show coming to you. I got all the matchups getting ready to drop them on you. But first of all, man, how you doing, man? It's been a week since I talked to you. How you living?
I'm good, man. You know, it took a few days to get over that last loss. You know, I didn't want to watch football, talk football, but, you know, that's a part of it. And hopefully our team has learned from it and ready to go.
Hell yeah, man. I think this is a learning experience for them, you know. It's quite a humbling experience to go in there and take 2 losses, but it's not like we got beat up all over the place. You heard the coaches talk, everybody talk, getting ready for this game. I kind of like the swagger that McDaniels is going in there with, you know what I mean? Like a little looser. I heard, you know, they rolled up to town. I know there's snow expected for the game and wind. Honestly, I think we match up well against them. We already beat them once. I mean, you remember we played that game in Miami where they left our defense out on the damn field out to dry for, 90-some-odd plays?
90-something plays.
You know what I'm saying? Do you remember that game, man?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, we were hyped about it, and it was a hard-fought game. The weather was an element that was involved, similar to what this game will present, and you know, you persevere and you find a way to win, and that's exactly what we need to do this week. Persevere, finding the way to win, no excuses.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Oh, there's my boy Evan. Justin is the man. Thanks, Evan. I know you're up there. He's up there feeling nice and warm right now in some gear. Up there in Canada, feeling warm. That is the host of the bandwagon that just commented in on the show right there. Thank you, Evan. We love you over here. Thank all you guys for tuning in over here. Man, what would be your rocking the coolest jersey hoodie around? Yeah, that Tyreek throwback. That shit is tight. Rock it on the show. Make sure you rock it on the show. I was going to tell you, what would be your game plan going into this one from an offensive perspective?
Well, you know, I've had the chance to play in games like this. I remember.
That was going to be a question.
Yes, I remember in 1993, we played in Pittsburgh. In 1993, the playoff game, the Frank Wright game, we played there in Buffalo. So I've been in a couple of games like this, and ultimately it comes out to establishing physicality. Not allowing the elements to become an issue. Everybody's playing in it, and so no one has an advantage over anybody else because everybody's out there. And then I think most importantly is establishing the run. And I think that's been a theme for both you and I for the last few weeks, and we got to establish the run. And so this is a game where it's ultimately necessary. We cannot not establish the run.
Yes, sir. I agree with you, man. 1,000%. We touched a little bit on it. Shout out to my boy Dolphins Thirsty Rob on the show that we do in the mornings down there called Dolphins Daily. Thank you if you tune into that. We talked about this a little bit. about playing in cold weather games and whether that would be something that would get into their heads. And like you just touched on it right there, you played in many of them, and it really isn't an issue. You go up there, it's really a mind over matter thing, like you were just talking about right there.
Yeah.
Both teams are both playing in it. The conditions exist for both parties. What we did touch about too, I had my boy on there, the notorious JP on Sports, Gino. Shout out, boy, we love you over here. He was on the show, and he said the same thing basically you did, because I asked him the same question about what kind of strategy you would employ, and he says it's got to be a time of possession game where we go in there and control the rock. We have the offense sit on the bench. It's exactly my game plan. I want to run the ball heavy. I would say somewhere around 70-30, if not 60-40 run. I want to run the ball. I want to run the ball on the edges. I want to control the ball with 12, like we said. We've been talking about this for 2 weeks, like you just touched on. 12 and 13-man personnel wouldn't hurt to pull out an extra offensive lineman. Honestly, to jump right off the bat, we are missing some guys on defense because Eric Rowe and Elijah Campbell have both been ruled out of the football game, which is going to make the strategy on defense be a little bit different, but I think it's not something that they can't handle. What do you think about those two guys missing the game and going forward from here on out?
Eric Rowe is an anomaly. He was up, he was down, he played well at games, he didn't play so well, but he is a veteran who knows the defense and understands what we're trying to do. So he's going to be hard to replace. I think we'll miss him again. But ultimately, from a defense perspective, I think it's more so the coaches putting us in play in positions to be successful.
Right.
And again, I think that it's going to come down to our defensive line, and we're going to stack them great, but our defensive line, linebackers versus their running game and their offensive line. So while we'll miss those guys, that's not going to be a factor on whether we win or lose.
Right, because we're trying to control the ball on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage. Oh, yeah, we're going to miss Brandon Jones. You're definitely right about that, Evan. He just commented on that.
Yeah,
my producer will appreciate you.
Man.
Yeah, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. Honestly, you know what? That game, Evan, why we have you here, Dr. Brown, do you remember how many interceptions were dropped on that? I counted 4.
Yeah.
I counted one on the sideline Javon would have took, one on the sideline Xavier would have took, one Brandon Jones dropped, and one that was tipped by Jalen Phillips at the line of scrimmage that he batted up and almost caught. Plus I brought this up on Dolphins Daily, that we got robbed for that intentional grounding call in the end zone, that the ball didn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. If that was the Dolphins, that would have been a safety. So we kind of got robbed for one right there as well.
Yeah.
So there was 5 plays that was left on the field right there. I think if the defense has changed to what I think it has now, to where they're allowing other people to be unlocked by Bradley Chubb taking 2 blockers at times, and Zach Sealer, shout out Zach, my dog, taking 2 blockers at times. I think they're opening up guys like Jalen Phillips and other guys to allow them to get in there and make a sack. I called a buddy in Buffalo, and they will have a tractor trailer blocking Josh Allen's driveway. Yeah, block his driveway. Don't allow him to the game. It'll be about the run game and chunk plays. Yes, it will. I think we got to come out there and run the ball.
Yeah, I think that it really is what we've been saying, that we've been hoping the offense would morph into more running and the short passing game. Everybody knows that we can get chunk plays, but I think Tua taking those check downs to the backs, Tua taking, maybe this is a Mike Gesicki game where, we get the ball to Mike Gesicki, and then we pick and choose when we want to take our shots. Will determine the game.
Right. I heard a lot of coaches talk this week about last week how we didn't really get maybe not out schemed, but you know what I'm saying? Did you hear that? But maybe they out muscled us and outplayed us at the line of scrimmage and out on the edges.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. We have been used to teams giving us a free release, and I think that kind of surprised us a bit. And as you know, our offense is built so much on timing and anticipation. And when they were pressing at the line, bumping, pushing, holding for most of the part,
Yep,
it was a
pass
lot of
5 yard
holding.
chuck rule.
Yeah, it was holding, but that threw us off. But they won't catch us by surprise this week. And I'm sure that we're going to do some different types of things to get some free releases and that things. Buffalo doesn't play a lot of man. It'll be interesting to see what they do, having seen last week. But I really think that this is a game where really it's going to come down to players making plays, dealing with the elements, who's the most physical, who's going to be the most physical at the point of attack,
Yes, sir.
and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're
I
going to be
agree.
good.
I agree. Can I ask you a quick question about what you were talking about there about how they were playing our wideouts at press man most of the game. When they're physical with you at the point of attack off the line of scrimmage, basically off of your get off your release.
Yeah.
What do you want to do right there to counter them? Would it be to get physical with them at the line of scrimmage?
Well, I think the biggest thing with releases when you're being pressed is to be patient, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just want to get going and then you get pushed off. But really, it's giving them moves at the line, being patient with it, not rushing, and then getting pushed off. So being patient, and then I don't think that we have the type of receivers that you can necessarily be physical at the point of attack. Our receivers are, smaller guys. Certainly they're strong as heck. Tyreek is strong as heck, but I really think it's going to come down to just being patient and not
Right.
rushing it. You give a move, you give a move, you give a move, and then when you see the opening, then you take it. I saw a lot of one move and go, and
Right.
then we were getting pushed off. So just being patient, man.
Awesome. So basically, like that's maybe a slow, like at the line of scrimmage on the wide receiver release, you're a former wideout, so you would know about this. Maybe like give them a slow play them, like a
Yeah,
you know
all
what I
of
mean.
that. Yeah,
You know what I
all
mean?
of
Like
that.
give them like a slow play, and like
Yeah,
maybe then you could shake them somewhere, right? Either
yeah,
in
yeah,
or
yeah,
out or
yeah,
around them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I totally I'm on with what you're stepping on right there because honestly, that's what they didn't show at that last game. That I think we're going to see more of it in this game as well. Um, Shout out to my boy Rob in the house, Dolphins Thirsties in the house. Right on, man. Thanks for coming through. Don't forget to smash and like that subscribe button on your guys' way in here. We love all of you guys for being here. Shout out. Oh, my boy Cap. Dude, Cap, you got to get a hold of me, bro, and hit up my DMs on my Twitter, please. We want to get you on a show. Cap
What up,
for
Cap?
life in the house. Yeah, we love you over here, boy.
For sure.
All right, man. So, let's see here. What do you think about the strategy is going to be? Like, who are they going to bring to the game? Like, my eyes are going to be peeled here coming in the next couple hours. I mean, it's only what 2 o'clock now Eastern time, just past. To that actives inactives list. What do you think the strategy is going to be? Who do you think you'll see them pull and take to the game, and who do you think they're going to leave behind? I've been talking about it a lot this week about how I'd love to see break glass in case of emergency for Eric Izukama to be broken out of his bag and used.
Man.
I would like to see the kid used like in the backfield, throwing the ball to him in the slot, out of the slot. I don't care. I want to use that guy. End rounds. Yeah, Cat for life, Doc Justin. It's time for Bradley Chubb to have a nice, busy Allen's neighborhood. Actually, yeah, man, get in there. Get busy in that boy's backfield. We want to get you on the show, Cap. Hit me up in my DMs on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll say about what he said about Chubb. I think that Chubb has been playing pretty well. Certainly, he's played 3 games. He has 3 sacks or 2.5 sacks. He's getting a lot of the double teams, which is allowing for Phillips to get off. Christian Wilkerson, Zach Sealer, and so while he's getting paid the money, so we want to see him to get the sacks. But you can have value and not get the sacks. I mean, he's freeing up everybody else, and they're getting the chance to make the plays. I will say when he gets there, he got to make the plays. So there were a couple of times that he got home and he missed the tackle, and it was just a step off. So yeah, that's going to be huge. It's going to be huge too. Like you said, and Chubb is really good at this. Is setting the edge, and
Yep.
he loves to rush high from the outside. So
Hmm.
keeping Josh Allen in the pocket and not letting him get outside, and then where he can be dangerous in those elements. We all know that that's where our defense struggles when quarterbacks get outside of us. So if we can keep him in the pocket and not let him run around and beat us, and then I think the huge deal for us, is, especially on defense, is just getting off the field on third down, man.
Right.
We had them in so many areas, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and somehow they make a play and keep the drive going. So if we can get off the field on those third downs, because we play really, really well on first and second down,
Uh-huh.
they're not going to be able to run on us effectively. They'll have a play or two, but I think if we can just continue to play hard on first and second and then get off the field on third down, we'll be good.
Right. Like you were just talking about there, where Chubb gets his hands on a player and misses the tackle. In the snow, he's going to be forced to break down and stay home, honestly. So it could kind of you know what I mean? It kind of might work into our advantage. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Do you agree that maybe it's because he's over aggressive and he needs to just stay home and break down on the guy, especially on a guy like Josh Allen, like you were just talking about? We want to keep the mouse in the house per se, and that means we want him to make plays from the pocket. We do not want him to scramble either up through it or around it, and that's when we get hurt. And that's the term of keep the mouse in the house. Like Dr. Brown just touched on right there. That's crucial points that Dr. Brown just brought up. We want to get off the field on third down. We want to keep the mouse in the house. And when you get your hands on the guy, for God's sakes, bring the dude down.
Yeah, we got to
want to stay home, break down, get low, and follow through.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because in the elements, that's one thing that it forces you to do,
Yes.
particularly in rain and snow, is to be disciplined,
Yep.
right? And so we sometimes our defense, they want to go for the big hit and the big
Mm-hmm.
play, and that sometimes is cost us. So this will force us to be disciplined, and it's crazy to say in a lot of ways this game lends to some of the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
Not all of the things, but certainly some of the things that we want to do.
Yep. So, yep. You're hitting right on it, man. It is. And it's like some of the things that we need to do for, certain reasons that'll be better for us. I was telling Bobby and Hank that the defense right now is currently ranked in the 20s in our division. You guys know we're last out of the 4. You know that, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter at that point right now. We might be, but we're also playing a division that's loaded right now, and they still got 4 games to try to get right a little bit. It's the same thing with the running game on the offense.
And,
To bring up to Cap's point real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you good, you good.
But to bring up to Cap's point, like my host, my boy Evan, the host of the bandwagons, led on to, the defense has actually played one more full game, than the Dolphins' offense right now. One more full game, so they've been left out to dry quite a bit.
Yeah, I would say that. Did you see Cap's Real Life comment?
Yeah, I want Christian Wilkins to rip off Josh Allen's nuts time around to ask him what's wrong with. Me too. Honestly, I want someone like I don't know. This might be crossing the line, but in the Dr. Brown's day, they used to put bounties. Have you ever guys remember that bounty game when Brett Favre got bruised all up and down his body? They used to put bounties down on players, and right now, I'm not opposed to putting a ringer in there. Channing Tindall, welcome to the NFL. Go put one right up underneath Josh Allen's chin, and we'll just put him out for the day. Justin, as Dr. Brown, former player's perspective, is a bulletin board material a real thing? Would you consider Mike McDaniel wearing a "Wish It Was Colder" shirt really something players care about? Do you believe in bulletin board material?
Yeah, I do. It gets you pumped up. It gets you fired up. The T-shirt it puts puts that on your mind as you're preparing for the week. But one thing about the bulletin board material and even the T-shirt, once the ball is snapped, once it's kicked off, all that shit go out the window. Nobody's thinking during halftime about, he wore a shirt that said,
Yeah.
which it was colder. So leading up to the game, it may make you prepare a little harder. It may make you study and do all those things as you're preparing for the week with the bulletin board material. You want to be more in tune to what a particular player is doing since he said something crazy. And so in those regards, in the preparation, it means something. But ultimately, when the ball is kicked off, all that shit go out the window and you got to play some football.
Wow, damn. Hell yeah, I love that. Yep, figured, Rob. So, yeah, thanks, man. We'll ask your question for sure. With that being said, I'll give you all the respect to Boyer doing what he's doing with the backup secondary players and the new linebacker scheme. Yeah, it's a lot to work with. Dr. Brown, if you were a coach getting ready to go play this game and you were getting ready to take your whole team out there, maybe what would some of the bulletin board, chalkboard material be that you would use?
Well, I think that one is, how are you going to handle adversity,
Yes,
right? What are you going to do? You've had a pretty good year, and now you've lost 2 games. You have aspirations for playoffs and beyond. This is a defining moment in the season. It's not the end all to be all. If we lose, we can certainly still make it in, but this game here is really, really serious, and we got to win. So I would really be talking to the team about how do you overcome adversity, and a lot of these things are about being a man and your family, and life is going to happen, and things are not going to always go your way. When you get knocked down, do you have the wherewithal to get back up? And all of those things are. Football is such a microcosm of life, and so this is one of those things where you're either an athlete, whether you're a doctor, a teacher, whatever your profession is, you're going to go through things like this that the Dolphins have went through. They've had these very, very highs, the Baltimore game, the winning streak, the comebacks, and all of this. And then we've had some lows. And so now that you're in a low, what do you do? And I think that's the biggest thing that I would be talking about with my team.
Right? Would it be wrong to be like, nobody believes in you. Nobody thinks you can do it. The world don't believe in you. It's us versus
all
the
of
world.
All of that.
You guys got to bring it all right now. I need 1,000%. I want every play, every snap, every possession. I need 1,000%. I mean, I'd be wanting to go run through a wall right there.
Yeah,
I mean, hit the field.
It's a couple of things. One is, as a player, the narrative. Like the coach doesn't have to say it. Now, some coaches have a way of saying it that, like you said, that'll make you my damn college coach, man. That dude would have have our team. I mean, like you said, want to run through a damn brick wall in the way that he gave his pregame speech, and he would throw shit and break shit up,
spit flying out of his mouth like dogs.
But ultimately, though, as a player, you understand the narrative. The Dolphins, has a lot of veteran leadership now. So I'm sure that Tua and Cheetah and Chubb and everybody is, talking to the team and letting them know how important this moment is. And
it's game time. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And I think that when you have this kind of leadership, I don't think we'll have a letdown. I really think it's going to be a hard-fought game in the elements, and ultimately, I think the Dolphins are going to come out on top. We need it more than they do, and we are going somewhere, and I think that come about 5 hours from now, it's going to be on and popping.
Hell yeah, man! Listening to you talk just getting me excited, even just thinking about this game, man. This is huge, like you just said. It's big time. This is an opportunity for the Dolphins to show everybody that they are for real, that they ain't playing no games no more. Don't let Buffalo run 90 plays on your defense. You guys go out there and set the tone early. Get on offense and bring a swagger with you today that you're here to play and you're going to be there all day long. And you know what? I'll see it right away when they hit that field, man. I'm excited. Every week I get when Dr. Brown gets me like this.
Just to say this, to Cap's point about Chubb, this game really is about big time players making big time plays in big time games, man.
Hell yeah, man.
I fully expect to see Cheetah and Waddle and Chubb and Wilkinson, that Wilkins make big time plays because, while Kader Kohu is a good player and all of that, we need, Terrence Armstead to open some big ass holes. You know what I mean?
Right.
We need Wilson to make those physical runs. You know what I mean? We need Moser, who's another player, to make some plays. Mike Gesicki wants the big contract, and why you haven't been getting the ball as much as you like, make some plays.
Make some plays.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Really, I think that this is what it's going to come down to. The guys who we're depending on, the big time players, make big time plays in big time games, man.
Yeah, it's just a mentality. You need to go out there with a mentality you're not going to be denied and you're going to make plays and the ball's in your hands. Killer California, to bring up that last comment, Bobby. He said he's a little nervous about this game. He's not going to lie. This game has me nervous. I ain't going to lie. Hey, everybody's nervous about going into a game. It's okay. We're going to shake off these jitters like me and Doc are talking about, man. Don't be nervous. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, man. We're going to go out there and put it all on the line is what I'm thinking. It's what I've been feeling all week. Do you feel that way, Dr. Brown, like that Browns game where they empty the tank and Mike McDaniels talked about it? Do you think we're going to see that kind of performance?
Yeah, I think that as a player, my senior year, we won the national championship, Black College national championship, right? But we beat Prairie View 92-0. Okay, no big deal, right? That's not what it's about. It's playing Jackson State in Atlanta in front of 70,000 people when everybody is saying, "Are you for real or not?" You know what I mean? And I remember being with the Oilers and playing in Pittsburgh on a Monday night when everybody's watching. And so I'm not nervous because these are the opportunities that you want. You know what I mean? It would be easy if we played the freaking Indianapolis Colts every game, but what does that do? How does that build character? How does that build championship mentality? And so for me, I'm not nervous. I'm ready to go. I want to see how my team is going to show up. And I was in a space early and said that somebody said, "Yeah, we're going to shock the world." And I said, "Well, we might shock the world, but it's not going to shock the Dolphins." I think that they expect to go in and win this game.
Hell yeah, man. We are going to shock the world. That's how I feel about it. Do you feel that as Dolphins fans, we know we don't have good record in cold weather games? Killer California just brought this up. Do you think that's got anything to do with this game going forward, our previous weather record games?
Well, I don't think so.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I think it is a mentality. I mean, there's a difference between playing in cold and warm weather. So in Miami, when it's hot, everybody is outside, right? So nobody's inside getting away from it. So we deal with it better. In Buffalo, in the cold and the snow, everybody's inside. Everybody's trying to get away from it. So that cold weather and the snowing is going to affect the Dolphins the same way that it affects Buffalo because they're not, when it's 100 degrees in Miami, everybody at the beach, kicking it, having a good time. You know what I mean? Absolutely. In Buffalo, when it's 30 degrees tonight, everybody's in their house with the heater on. So it's a difference between playing a hot game and a cold game because the way that people respond to those two elements.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. If you don't know by now, you're watching Digging in the Trenches
Let's
live
go.
with JPF Scout and my man right here, Reggie Brown, my co-host in the house.
Let's
And
go.
right now is a good time for you to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes.
If you did, thank you. We love you guys over here, all
Yes.
of you. Evan in the house, Dolphins Thirsty in the house, Killer California in the house. My great producer, give him a shout out. My man
Yes.
Bobby in the
The man.
house. But right now is a great time for us to segue into the segment I like to call the Stack and Brick segment. And we're going to give you the matchups, and then we're going to give you right after that the predictions for the game. So let's stack up the bricks. Right now I have the Dolphins sitting at 46 bricks. Then I have the Bills coming in at 34 bricks. Boom. Okay, they got 34. We got 46, you guys. Right now, let's do it like we always do this, Doc. Let's go right down to the offensive line. The Dolphins have the football. The Bills are on defense. This is where we want to keep the game anyway. Okay, let's start right here on the line of scrimmage. We got T. Steady versus Gregory Rousseau. I'm going to take T. Stead. Then you go to the right. We're going left to right. Okay, and then you go to the left guard, which is going to be Robert Jones versus Ed Oliver. I'm going to take Oliver on this one. He's got the experience. He's got the muscle. He's got the girth. Jones, be ready to play. Go to the one tech position. You got, I think his name is Daquan Jones versus Connor Williams. I'm going to take Connor Williams. He's been playing good for us all season long. I expect nothing less than the best from Connor going forward. In fact, I expect to see Connor Williams to the second level of the defense quite often, along with Mr. Jones, to get a hat up on Tremaine Edmonds and Milano. I want to see it early. I want to see it often to the second level with Jones, Williams, and Hunt. Go to the right side, the right guard. I'll take Robert Hunt versus Shaq Lawson. Ex-Dolphin Shaq Lawson. He knows Robert Hunt, and Shaq Lawson knows him. They know each other. I'm taking Hunt. Go to the right side. This is where it gets a little weird because the Bills do only bring two linebackers, and sometimes he's either going to be in coverage or he's going to be blitzing. And that guy who is the key matchup in this scenario for the Dolphins is Matt Milano versus Brandon Shell, the right tackle. I'm going to take Milano here. He's the guy you want to know where he's at on every single play, have him located, have him blocked. Okay, that's the guy. It can also be a mismatch for us, but don't throw it unless he's wide open. Milano will pick it off. You better be aware where this dude's at. All right. What do you think right there on the matchups, Doc?
Yeah, I like that. You make a great point, man. I think Matt Milano is a freaking football player, man.
That's right.
I mean, he's a dog. He's nasty.
He's a dog.
He's smart. You know, he's what you want at that position, and
Yes,
we gotta know where he's at. And then two, I'm wondering what effect it or if there'll be an effect with Connor snapping the ball for the first time in these type of elements. So let's hope and pray that this isn't an issue, because it is something that you got to work on and be aware of, and you know, all of that. But ultimately, I think, you know, when it comes down to our defensive line, they're gonna make some plays, man. You know, these are professional athletes, but we got to control Ed Oliver. He just can't run over Greg Little like he's not there and just be so disruptive. Everywhere else, I think we're solid. And then again, we got to know where Matt Milano is at all times.
Yes. Can you ask Bobby's guy Ingle to make a block or two? Yes, Evan. He needs to be heavily involved in the game plan. Like I said, I want to run a lot of 12 and 13 man personnel, 22 and 23. I want to use two running back sets, and one of them needs to be a fullback and just pound it right at him. That's what I want to do. I don't know if that's what you're going to see, but that's what my strategy would be. Man, you know what? It's crazy. Check this out. It's weird. I'm glad I'm getting in depth with you to chance to talk about these matchups, because when you look at the Buffalo Bills defensive line, it's not just Rousseau, Oliver, Daquan Jones, Lawson, and Milano that you need to worry about. Behind those players in the same order, you got Basham, Settle, our ex-player Jordan Phillips, who I don't think is playing either. He might be. And then AJ Epinesa, and then behind Milano was Klein. Honestly, man, I would love to see us get to some game part. I never want to see one get injured, but honestly, if I'm a player, I'm trying to hurt you out there. I'm hitting to hurt today,
Yeah.
and if I hit you and hurt you, so what? Bring your
Yeah,
second guy in.
Yeah, I think that they do a really, really good job with that rotation. Like you say, they keep those guys
Fresh.
fresh and healthy and in and out, and they move them around pretty good again. So again, I think it's going to be a benefit to us sometimes to go a little quicker. Like you can go quicker and get to the line without snapping the ball, right?
Right.
And just keeping them from changing out and keeping everybody health fresh and all of that kind of stuff. So this would be a good cat and mouse game between Mike McDaniels and what is their defense coordinator,
Leslie Frazier.
and really cat and mouse, but we stack up well against them. Again, it's going to come down to who wants it more. If you look at it totally, you may give them the edge, but how much does Greg Little want to play? He tired of getting pushed around.
Is Armstead going to start at left tackle?
Man, he got to start at left tackle.
Yeah. And then what? You know what? We forgot to talk about before we did the matchups part. This would be a good time to use Eric Fisher, don't you think? This would be a good time to have Eric Fisher active and playing in the game.
Yeah.
Would it hurt to bring Eric Fisher and put him right there and have Jones sit down and have Eric Fisher play some left guard?
Yeah, I mean, Eric Fisher is a veteran guy who's not going to be moved by anything, right? The elements is not going to concern him. The conditions, the weight of the game, none of those things are going to bother him. It's really an attitude in terms of, I'm not sure if he's played left right guard, but I wouldn't be opposed to moving him to right tackle and getting him in there, and he's a mauler and all of those things. Again, I think that we have to put out all the stops. There's no, we taking every bullet we got to the gunfight, man. We're not doing anything to chance, and you got to put yourself in the best position to win.
That's right. Throw the kitchen sink at them, right?
Yeah.
So if they're not going to put him over there at right tackle, maybe they could use him like I want to with an extra offensive lineman, maybe the sixth lineman. I mean, that's also a strategy we could see. But we'll keep the show moving right along.
Hey, did you see that Evan said let's play that Patriot style of football? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Yeah. Where's that comment? Can you bring that comment up, Bobby? I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but let's play Patriots football against this team in the snow. Yes, it's exactly what I want to do. I just want to run the ball. If you run the ball, I don't care if you only throw it 10 times. I only called, I think, Rob can back me up. I want to throw it 15, 17 times, no more than 20 times. If you throw it 22 times, I'm not going to be upset. But I don't want to throw it a lot. And if we throw it, I want to throw it short. You know what I mean? Tua, like my co-host just said right here, Mr. Brown just said, Tua, take what's there. Take your check downs. Take what the defense is giving you, please. Let the offensive players make the plays for you. You don't need to be a hero here. This is not a time to do that. We'll keep it moving right along, though. Same side of the ball, offense still. The Dolphins have the ball. All right? We go to our skill-making players. I've been taking my unicorn players all year, and I'm going to continue to, and that's going to be Tyreek Hill versus Tre'Davious White. It's a good matchup, but I'm taking Hill. Then you go over to the other side. It's, I think, Jackson versus Waddle. I'm taking Waddle. In the slot, you got Johnson versus Sherfield. I'm taking Sherfield. So I'm taking our receivers versus their DBs. What do you think?
Yeah, man-to-man in terms of Cheetah versus whoever they got, and our guy versus, Waddle, whoever they got. Is that's not close. What they do, however, is they play as a defensive unit, a defensive backfield unit, really, really well. And so we're going to have to be aware. Tua's going to have to be aware of what they're doing on the back end. They make adjustments, they scheme up, and all of that. So, but it's Cheetah and Waddle, and And I've said this before. I think that if I had to say who needs to have a breakout game, it would be Waddle. He's been missing
Yes.
a couple games, not his fault. The game plan and things happen and all of that. Right. So
Yeah.
let's get the Penguin going in the cold.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. Cheetahs are too fast to feel the cold, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy you brought up that part about the back end of their defense, how they play as a unit. It's something that I noticed with them. They're veteran. They've played together for a long time. They know where their one is supposed to be, and vice versa. Which brings me to the next matchup of our matchup here. We still have the football. Jordan Poyer versus Tua. I think that's a push. I think
Yeah.
Poyer's a great player, but I think Tua's a great player.
Yeah.
Then this gets into almost the key matchup of this side of the ball. Um, their linebackers plus their strong safety, which is Hamlin, which we'll get into that matchup with our tight end later. But let's just stick to the running backs right now and the linebackers. Milano and Edmonds push with Mostert, Wilson, and Ingold. Do you agree with that? That
Yeah,
they push.
I
It's like
do.
it's a great matchup.
It's a great matchup, and I think that uh, this is when everything works together,
Yes.
and we're gonna it helps us again that Wilson and Mostert have played in this game,
Yep.
played in the wide zone, and I think this is really a wide zone with the counters and the stuff that we do
Yeah.
type of game. And again, I think the elements are going to cause you to be more patient with it. And so there could be some cutbacks and some things that happen to allow us to get some big runs, some 10-yard chunks, some 8-yard chunk runs. So
So you
I'm
think there could be some open lanes that haven't been there earlier that are going to be presented now
yeah,
because of the
yeah, yeah,
elements and
yeah,
what we're going to be throwing at them?
yeah, yeah,
Yep, I
yeah,
love it,
yeah,
man. I love it. It's a game that I thought me and you were on the same page once again.
yeah.
We're on the
Let's
same
go.
page here. Like, I want to do the same thing you just said, stretch right, stretch left. Then I want to throw in some inside zone. Then I want to throw in like a dive or a wham or, on short yardage situations, do you agree maybe that we need to utilize the outside the numbers and outside the tackles rather than trying to pound it right at them? Because it's kind of
Yeah,
killing me. I want to go somewhere different with it.
yeah. I think that their front seven is good, man, and
Yeah.
so we are gonna have to mix and match it. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I want to see, I think the if there's been a knock on our offense, in my mind, we've been very predictable.
Very.
And it's really interesting. I've expected to see a lot of the stuff that San Francisco does, the Shanahan tree does, some putting Waddle in the backfield and doing different stuff and
Yeah.
Tua in motion and
Now
come
you're talking.
around and all of this stuff. And so I expect that this game you'll see some of the stuff that the offense, from a Shanahan perspective, is used to doing.
So you think you'll see some wrinkles with like you
Yeah,
were just saying, like Tyreek Hill in those as a running back, maybe some Jalen Waddle. God forbid, maybe you give it to Smythe and he runs for some yards or something like
yes,
that. Or you know what? I got something that's been kind of keeping me up late at night. Wouldn't this be something? I know that he hasn't seen a lot of looks, but that Tanner Connor kid can run a 4.3. What's the hurt giving him a look on a jet sweep, right? I mean,
yeah,
I know he can get upfield, right?
right, yeah.
Wouldn't hurt. Break
I
out some
really
weapons.
do, yeah, I really do expect us to do some different things to keep them off balance and to keep
Yes.
us moving and
Same
changing.
here.
A lot of times, you know, you don't have to get 5 yards or 10 yards on the play, but
No,
you run
3
it.
is fine.
Yes, yeah, you run it just to put one more thing on their mind, right?
Yes.
And
To keep them honest, right?
yeah, yeah. So I really expect to see that. And he says his 9-year-old was pissed at the play call and she knew that was coming. Yeah, I do think that we would have been, somewhat predictable, and it's hard not to be predictable when you've been so good. So why do you change it? But now, in this situation,
It's
we
time.
need to do some things.
That's right. I
Yeah.
agree wholeheartedly, my man. Oh, damn, what was I just going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's what it was. Would you be opposed to seeing maybe someone like Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, maybe even Mostert, take some Wildcat snaps?
Hey man, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it,
Let's
right?
go,
Have it blocked
man.
right one
I
way or
mean,
another.
let's go,
Maybe even
man.
throw a wrinkle off of it.
Let's go. I mean, Jeff Wilson and
Yeah,
some
any of them.
Wildcat stuff. Yeah, let's go, man. I
Boy,
mean,
dude, I'm so excited.
yeah,
Can't
yeah,
wait. So for the last matchup, we'll keep things moving. Sorry, Bobby. I know we're talking, but man, we're spitting fire today. My boy
yeah.
Doc is on fire today,
Let's
man. I love it.
go.
We got the last matchup, which will be the tight ends, which I obviously give that a push as well with Hamlin versus Smythe and Gesicki, Connor and Long, whatever you throw those guys in there. I give that a push. All in all, I think I like the way our offense matches up versus their defense. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I do, and I want to see Waddle, but I really think that this may be a Mike Gesicki game. Um,
Really?
I think well, just from the standpoint of like you said, the moving the chains. Just keep the chains
Chain move.
moving.
Yep.
You don't have to be taking the shot plays. Mike McDaniels is solid. He can catch. He's a fairly decent route runner and all of those things. When the ball hit his hands, it's like glue. So again, I think this is a game where getting him the ball to just keep us in front of the train.
Right. Use him in the middle field to move the
Yes.
chains. I like it.
Mhm.
Earlier in the week, I was like, damn, maybe I want to throw down during the red zone, but now I want to run down in the red zone because that's
Yeah.
when things get real tight. So
Yeah.
I like that strategy right there. But
Yeah.
let's keep things pumping. We'll go to the other side of the football right now, and this is when the Dolphins are on defense and Buffalo is on
Mhm.
offense, which is where we really don't want them to be, but
Right.
we need to talk about it because it's going to happen. Real quick before we get carried away, I don't want no one to forget how important special teams is to the game of football. Ken Dorsey's going to throw his Microsoft Surface from the press box. Hell yeah, we're going to get him frustrated. That's what's going to happen. But the special teams is important. The Bills went out and traded Zach Moss for Naimi Hines for a reason, because he's a good punt returner. They can flip the field for them. I've already seen it happen a couple different times since they got him. You're going to need to be under P's and Q's on your coverage. I know we're not going to have no Campbell, and we're not going to have Rowe. Campbell was really doing good on Gunner. But we got other guys. I expect to see somebody like Jamal Perry, Clayton Fendulum, Justin Bethel. And I wouldn't even rule out bringing someone like the guy we just got, Kadar Holloman, to the game. You already heard my thoughts on it. I want to bring Easy E to the game. I know they're not going to, but I want to anyway. That would be my plan. And honestly, keep your lookout. I would bring all 4 running backs to the game, to the defense. Okay, first matchup we got Dawkins versus Chubb. I'm going to take Chubb. Saffold versus Wilkins. This is a key matchup indicator in my matchups that I have for our team. One of the key matchups. I'll take Wilkins. Davis versus Morris. It's going to be a great matchup, but I'll take Davis. This is where we can really beat them, you guys. Pay attention. This is the key matchups for the right side of the offensive line for the Bills. It's weak, in my opinion. Zach Sealer versus Bates, but it won't be Bates. He's hurt and not going to play. It's going to be Van Ruten. Van Ruten versus Sealer. Sealer, my dog's getting ready to go eat. Let's go. Go get him. Yep, Jalen Phillips versus Spencer Brown. Spencer Brown is a player that was at a Division II school. I think it was North Dakota State. Don't quote me on that. It might be somewhere else. He's really tall, so he's susceptible to speed rushers around the edge. My boy Jalen's going to go eat today, you guys. Watch. This is my key matchup indicators. Is both those matchups we just went over. Zach Sealer, Jalen Phillips. When they're on the field, they're going to eat. So I'm taking those guys right there. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, and I really think that they're going to do some things. You try to create matchup nightmares, and so that front 4 that we have is so interchangeable, and we can do so many things. And I know we'll get to Melvin Ingram, but I think he's going to be an X factor. But yeah, Christian Wilkins and Sealer, damn, man, and just as a side note, man, Christian Wilkins gonna make us have some salary cap issues. He's done played himself
Yep.
into a big ass salary,
He's walked himself
and
into a
yeah,
boatload of money, that's for
yeah,
sure.
deservingly. And but again, I think that, like you said, Phillips has been coming on of late.
Yes, he has.
He's gotten, what is it, 2.5 sacks in the last 3 weeks, and
Yep.
so he's starting to get home and make plays. And that freaking ghost call on the
Oh,
Herbert
that was a
was
terrible
horrible.
call, man.
But we gonna make him make that same call again, because he gonna get home and do the same thing
That's right.
to.
I finished Josh Allen. I don't allow him to get up at all. Dr. Brown, did you wear sleeves in the cold?
And so that's an interesting story. I played with Bruce Matthews, Hall of Famer, and Bruce
Bruce.
he was such a great guy, man. So he was the guy who really took care of rookies when they came in and younger players.
Hell
So,
yeah.
we ate dinner at his house a lot, and he took me under his wings, and so I hung out with the offensive linemen. Those
That's
were my
dope.
guys, and so because I was in their crew, offensive linemen didn't wear sleeves, so
Nope.
I went out against Pittsburgh, and I didn't have sleeves, and I was like, "Shit, man!"
It's cold.
But I went to go change, but Bruce was like, "Nah, bro. If you
No.
in, you in. No
That's right.
sleeves." So I toughed it out, but I was miserable as hell.
Hell yeah, bro. And if you guys don't know, you should know. He's referring to Bruce Matthews, which is a Hall of Fame center for the Houston Oilers. This guy was one of the best football players I ever see play the game.
Football players. I'm glad you said that. He wasn't just the best offensive lineman. This
Best
guy was
football player.
a football player. People don't know this. He was our third quarterback if we needed it. He was the punter if we needed it.
Yep.
This guy, I used to play handball with him, and this guy, man, was just
unbelievable.
But his whole family. Some families are just unfair. His brother Clay, and then his sons and his nephews, all NFL greats, man. But more than anything, just a class act guy. So
I know, man. Like loaded, huh? Clay, all of them, man. The whole lineage is just loaded with football players, you guys. So that's a great story, man. Thank you for sharing that with us. Awesome stuff. See, look, Evan, look what you get right here when you come to dig into the trenches.
My
man, Dr. Brown, be giving us the goods, dog. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button.
And tell your friends, man. You got to tell your friends, man.
Hell yeah. You must do. That's a must. So you know what is really crazy? Just like the Bills' defensive line, how I brought up all the depth they have behind their starters. You know what? This is the same case with the Dolphins. Melvin Ingram, John Jenkins. Don't forget, there's my key match indicator flashing again because Justin Zimmer. That name familiar to anybody? Andrew Van Ginkel. That's the other depth part. But back to Justin Zimmer. Justin Zimmer was poached from the Buffalo Bills. Do you think maybe they got some snippets of information with Justin Zimmer being a former Buffalo Bill?
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. One of the things that you immediately do is bring him to the offensive line room and tell him about some of the calls that they're going to hear.
Thank you.
They all make the adjustments during the game, and if they want to do a twist, they might call it Lexi, or whatever it is. And so hearing those things, and we'll give our offensive line or defensive line some alerts because he's giving them those tips. So it'll certainly help.
See, if you guys didn't hear that right there, Dr. Brown just gave us snippets that you probably wouldn't get anywhere else unless you're tuned in here, is that Zimmer could give us key offensive calls like he just said, Lexi. That could be a twist stunt call there from like a TE stunt, anything, how he sees it coming, and he'll give us that inside information. That gives us a great matchup indicator going forward with the Dolphins offensive line. Eric Walsh, good luck to you tonight, brother. We'll see what happens. If you think Miami's going to lose, come see us after the game. If we win, I know you won't show up.
Right.
I hope we take it to your ass, bro. I hope Josh Allen has a broken jaw. Honestly, that's what I'd send my ringer out there, Channing Tindall, to go get him. But we'll keep going with the offense right here as the Bills have it. Just like on the Dolphin side of the ball, on the Bills have the football, Diggs versus Howard, I'm going to take Diggs. McKenzie versus Crossan, I'm going to take McKenzie. He's fast. He's quick. Crossan's going to need to be on his game to even keep up with him. Kohu versus Gabriel Davis, I'm going to take Davis. So I'm taking all their receivers versus the way our DBs have been playing right now. I'll take their receivers. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I don't see them being such a I don't think that will be the reason why we lose the game. No, I think that we'll do good enough. I think that again, it's really going to come down to our front four getting the pressures and doing
Right.
those things that really throw their offense up. And again, it works so much in tandem. And while Diggs hasn't really been to his normal level been producing, there's been some chemistry issues seemingly with him and Josh, and they're trying to get Josh to do more check down, similar to what we're doing to Tua, to get him he wants to be a gunslinger. Tua wants to be a gunslinger, and they've been forcing him to take check downs and smaller throws. So while I think that those they probably have the edge, I don't think the edge is going to be the factor of why we win or lose the game.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they've been asking Josh Allen to do a lot more when he gets outside of the pocket and improvise, and he's obviously making a lot more mistakes out there this year than he was last year if you're paying attention to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want him to get out there, but go ahead, get out there. It's in the snow. Anything can happen, and the defense can make some plays. If you weren't tuned in earlier, me and Doc Brown talked about the matchup we had in Miami with the Bills and how Josh Allen almost threw 4 interceptions. One on the sideline to Javon Holland, which would have been a pick six. One for sure that would have been a pick six from Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
One in the middle of the field for Brandon Jones that he knocked down, which was caused from pressure from Jalen Phillips. And then a fourth one, which Jalen batted down at the line of scrimmage and almost caught. Plus, we got robbed of a safety that was intentional grounding call in the end zone that didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. So they got lucky, in my opinion. They're not going to run 90 plays this game, I'll tell you that much.
Right.
Tevin or whatever the dude's name that was in here. But let's go keep it on the same side. Knox versus whoever we're going to match up against him, which I don't know who it's going to be right now. It could be numerous people. Clayton Fengelum, Jamal Perry, Kadar Hallman, I don't know. But I'm going to take Knox. He's been playing pretty damn good. I hope they have a plan for that going forward.
I think Fedulum, just because he's a bigger, more physical guy that can kind of deal with him. So I would say Fedulum if I just had to say.
Right. Do you think maybe, too, you could maybe mix and match by bringing maybe Snowman, Javon Holland into the box more and have the general Verone McKinley playing the deep safety role? Do you think maybe that's a strategy that they'll employ?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to confuse their quarterback Josh, and I really we'll get to it. I will talk about Josh. We'll talk about Javon in a second.
Right. Honestly, we're not we're almost done because it's like the same thing with the Dolphins offense versus the Bills defense, how they had those pushes. I'm going to give Singletary, Cook, and Hines and their fullback Gilman a push with our linebackers of Roberts, Baker, Riley. I consider those all pushes. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, again, you running against us is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I do, like you said, when it becomes tricky is once they get the ball in space, do we rally and make tackles? Does Baker make tackles? Van Ginkel make tackles? And Landon Roberts make tackles in the open field? And again, one of the things, the problem is running overrunning plays. And so again, I think the elements help them it's hard to have to break down. Nobody wants to go sliding by and look, become a poster. So I think it's going to help us play more disciplined football.
Yeah, you'll be disciplined and able to make those tackles. One quick point, too, about the linebackers I want to bring up and have you maybe shed some light on it. I would love to see them use the 4th-round pick out of Georgia, Channing Tindall, to run sideline to sideline. I don't care if it's in the snow. This is the game to use him. You're brought here to stop Josh Allen. So
Yeah.
if he does break containment, do you think they'll spy and use Tyndall that way?
Yeah, they used him some against Buffalo the first time. I think it was two or three plays, and then they used him some against what was it, Baltimore maybe.
Yep.
And then since then, we haven't seen a lot of him. And I think again, this is a game where we might see him get some action going.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we are running up on the hour here. We're getting ready to give you those last pregame or the pregame predictions. Do not forget to like and subscribe to
And
the
tell a
channel.
friend.
And tell a friend to like and subscribe to the channel, and tell that friend to tell another friend to
Yeah.
like and subscribe to the channel. We love to have you guys over here. We want to get interactive. We are getting ready to do a jersey giveaway on the 500 subscriber, which will be a free jersey to a random subscriber that we pick. Bobby's going to handle that part of it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it'll be a Jalen Waddle jersey or a Javon Holland snowman in the house. Waddle going to get going now. Watch, man. We're going to get this going today. And you know what? You want something to rock? You want to get a jersey for yourself? Hit me up, dog. I will take care of you. Right there's your contact information on Twitter. You can reach me at JPF Scout. I'll hook you up. You need a beanie like I'm got on? I'll hook you up. I got one. Need a jersey hoodie like my man Evan Posner, the host of the Fins Bandwagons, rocking that throwback Tyreek. I'll hook you up one of those. You want a black one? I'll hook you up. You want something maybe that's not Dolphins? I got you there too. You tell me what you want, we'll hook you up. But I see this going down to being one of those snowball fights. It's gonna be a showdown.
Yes.
What do you think, man? What's your score prediction?
21-17 Dolphins, man.
Love it. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's going to be a showdown, snowball fight, fist fight. And I'll tell you what, Dolphins come out on top, you guys. 24-21.
Let's go.
Let's go. Fins in the house. Fins in the house. We got ready to do this, dog. It's going to be sweet. I can't wait to see this snow game played. We love having you guys over here. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Bobby, you can close us out anytime you're ready and get us out of here, man. Don't forget, he who laughs last laughs best, baby. Dolphins coming to Buffalo. Gonna be a showdown in the snow. Throw down. About to get whited out.
First kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make it early diagnosis. Hit you with the quick release like Marino Danny dopeness. Explosive change of direction in the true essence of Reggie Bush. From JT and ZT to DVP and AVG. Terminator to a quarterback, Hunter JP. Steve Ross, the boss, King Flow, and card slinging, gambling genius, slick Chris Greer.
Absolutely.